This is from Clutch Points. Three running backs, they say not named Ezekiel Elliott or Kareem Hunt, that the Browns must sign. We'll go with considering signing. Darrell Henderson, former Ram, 50 career NFL games, 28 starts, almost 400 carries, over 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns. Kenyon Drake, 482 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, a receiving touchdown with the Ravens last year. And James Robinson was released by the Patriots. ESPN's Mike Reese suggested it might have been due to injury concerns, tore his Achilles back in 2021. All of those names are intriguing. Those guys I don't think are going to get the big-time contracts. There's so many running backs that are still out there. It will be interesting. I think if the Browns feel good about any of those three, I think all of them could have a role on the Browns roster behind Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford.
Right, and I mean, no matter how you feel about the running back room the Browns have right now, the reality is there's only two guys. You need at least, three guys who are capable of, going into the game and having any sort of impact. Because, running back's always an injury where you're going to have a lot of wear and tear throughout the season, especially if, Nick Chubb is expected to be the bell cow of the offense because he's far and away got more experience as a runner than Jerome Ford does. But looking at that list of guys that, they were talking about there, I've always liked Darrell Henderson as kind of, a solid backup running back, looking at his numbers, solid throughout his career, about 4 yards a carry or something like about 4.4 yards a carry, as a backup running back for the Rams for a couple of seasons, has some experience as a receiver. I think Kenyon Drake is probably the best of those three in terms of receiver, but starting to get up there in age. He turns 30 in late January, but 1,600 plus yards as a receiver in about 101 games. So certainly has experience right there. And with James Robinson, I get the injury concerns, but when you look at what he was in 2022, yeah, he took a step back, obviously, in all of these different categories. But I think we can understand, knowing how torn Achilles work. And how you rehab from that first year back is always a struggle. It's always tough to come back from that. You're never 100%. It usually takes 2 years to really get back to where you are. So maybe that's kind of worth the throw at the dartboard. I mean, if I had to pick those three guys as far as pure balance goes, I like Robinson because he's coming off, got about 2,000 yards rushing in just 3 seasons. Solid as a receiver, kind of does a little bit of everything. If I'm the Browns, I'm looking for a guy as that third running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what? Again, all of them are decent third running backs. You know what? If you need any of them to step in, you can get quality NFL running back play from any of those three. I would agree.